And we are live.
Ganon, Zelda. Well, excuse me, princess.
See, that would have been a much better way to start it, Manuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that was the icon. Oh, I bit my lip. I forgot that was the iconic line until I was already talking. I'm like, wait, how am I saying all this and not saying the line from that cartoon? Dude, I remember watching that. It's funny because like supposedly by the time of Super Mario Super Show, supposedly when that show was on towards the end, like in the 90s, they changed the live action segments to be like kids. I know I'm not old enough to have seen its original run, but when I was watching it on TV in the 90s, I know that they were still showing the Lou Albano. I don't know who the fuck played Luigi. He's cool though. But that dude, yeah. Um, they were still showing those live action segments like into the 90s, at least wherever the fuck I was watching it. But anyways, I'm Emmanuel Mario, and I'm joined with by Weston Mario. We're the Mario Brothers.
Hey, I'm here too.
Dr. Weston Mario.
and also JD Mario. I think it was just JD. You guys are sharing a box.
Yeah, because I didn't want to bring out the 3-person one just for 2 blank screens.
It's funny because like we're not doing it yet because Tiffany's in Japan, but we were talking about the episode 200 nonsense. By the way, this is episode 200, and we were gonna watch an older episode and like do that retrospective thing, and I forgot the way the old layout used to be. It was always for 3 people, so if we didn't have a third person, I would put a picture there, and it would sometimes be like it was usually a picture of Heidi in the old days because she was always our quote unquote third host that was never around. But it was also the Spider-Man one later on, and that's where that whole thing came from. Where I keep showing that it's Call Me Kevin, by the way, dressed up as Spider-Man, where he's like peeking in. No one knows that picture unless you've been watching UBZ since like for years but that picture is still the icon for the Discord chat for the podcast, which only podcast people are in, so nobody knows it. Anyways, what's up, JD? What's up, Weston?
Not much. Just got back from WonderCon.
I know. I regret not going. It's funny because there was no UPZ last week because I was just swamped with a lot of things, and there was so much going on over the weekend that I didn't go to. Power Wolf, a power metal band I really love, had their first US shows this year, and they played LA on Saturday. No, Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday. It doesn't matter. It was Friday because Angie went, which is the reason I'm getting at this. Angie
yeah, I gotta
fucking
say,
went.
I gotta say, somebody we knew went, and it was this weekend.
And yeah, and she messaged me. She's like, "Are you gonna go?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure." And I'm a dumbass. I didn't notice that when she asked me, she sent the picture of her there. I thought the show was this weekend, and I still had time to debate about it. But then, like, I was chilling around, and I'm like, wait a minute, that was Angie at the fucking show. I just thought about the picture. Here's how much I pay attention. That's how boomer I was. Like, she legit sent me, like, she posted it, like the picture where she's next to the marquee. But anyway, Ripperoni. I didn't get to see them live for the first show in the first shows in the US. We are live with. Sorry, I had to put that we're live. I forgot to do this earlier.
Seriously, Manuel, like I gotta find some way to automate this so you don't have to.
Yeah.
It used to. Well, it's still automated for the thing, but like apparently there's like a. Well, like apparently there's programs that'll do this for you. Like, yes, manual. They've been programmed. There've been like little widgets for this for years. I'm just stupid. Anyway, what are we talking about today? There's like Zelda nonsense. There's Mario nonsense. There's Nintendo nonsense. The eShop closed down. Do you even have a 3DS? Do you still play your 3DS, Weston? I meant to say.
I never owned it. My brothers do. That's why I don't really play Game Boy games.
So wait, you never experienced the wonder that was like taking a 3DS to a convention, like in 2012 or something?
No. I really had no time to be like taking the 3DS because I had a phone. Majority of my games were on my phone at the time.
Do you remember that, JD? Do you remember taking it? Did you ever
Yeah,
do it? I don't know if you.
yes. I only did it for like Toricon and Anime Boston like 2 years.
No, you will never know what it was like doing an AX because like literally like there would be days where I would like, and this tells you how long ago it was. You were able to sit in a fucking like in a hallway at AX and not really like block the hallway. I would sit down somewhere just to go relax for a minute, and like I would just pull out 3DS, and it would be nonstop Street Pass tags,
Yeah, I mean,
nonstop.
it was similar to that at like Anime Boston too. And man, I went to a school that was once voted the nerdiest school in America. I've definitely had a lot of people just street passing on a normal day.
It was crazy. Yeah, I used to do that at school too. I remember like it was just crazy all around, like the way like that was. Like I would get street passes at home. So I'm like, who the fuck has 3DSs like around me? Are people just walking to and from school maybe and just getting close enough to like my 3DS? It
Possible.
it still upsets me that the Wii U doesn't the Wii U. That's what I call the Switch. It still upsets me that the Switch doesn't have something like that. Um, but I also discovered that I'm a weirdo that plays it only in handheld mode, and apparently no one else really does. Uh, I don't know. That's I think I'm cool.
Weird up.
But yeah, the 3DS eShops closed down. Also, the Wii U shops closed down.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, all that stuff you can only get through piracy now, which
Unless of course it's
sucks
available
because
somewhere else. I mean,
like what like you can't really. It's funny because those two systems particularly are like pretty much impossible to emulate. So it's not even like proper piracy, like emulation. It's like on hardware piracy.
well, I mean, a lot of stuff that was, or a lot of the major stuff that was exclusive, I think, has been ported to other systems just out of either sheer popularity or an attempt to preserve.
Like some of the stuff, like it's funny because they brought over New Super Mario Brothers U
Mm-hmm.
to the Switch,
Yeah.
and I feel like no one knows this unless you played the Wii version, the Wii U version. But they took out content, uh, namely, even though it's still 4 players on both versions. First of all, like they added they took out one of the toads and they put in that the is it Toadette?
Yeah, Toadette.
Uh, and that's where the whole fucking when you get that fucking the Bowser Peach thing or whatever the fuck that's called.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
they added that shit, but they got rid of one of the original toads to do that. But more importantly, even though they're both 4 players, technically on the Wii U it was 5 players because somebody could hold the gamepad and draw on the screen and things would appear, which is funny because that game's really hard. And I swear to God, it was meant for people to do that. Like there are certain jumps you would almost miss, and if somebody had the gamepad, they would just draw a platform and you would run up it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm like, I feel like no one knows that that was a feature. First of all, I feel like no one even knew that when the game was out on the Wii U, but definitely everyone's forgotten that. Um, this was not a Nintendo first party game, but there was that Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, uh, the Persona and Fire Emblem like JRPG like mashup. There was a whole mechanic where you could like have your cell phone on the gamepad, which is just a separate menu on the Switch, and they got rid of most of it because it's not as it would take up too much screen real estate. Shit like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like harping on stuff that didn't matter. Like when Breath
I
of the
mean,
Wild
especially
came,
for the menu stuff, it could just be replicated by putting it back on screen and making it transparent so you can still see what's going on beneath it.
I am not the keeper of obscure knowledge. Did you know? This fucking pisses me off because YouTubers are discovering it now and acting like no one knew about it. Did you know that when the DS first came out, the original DS, not the 3DS, one of its control methods was to like the strap had this little thing you'd put on your thumb and you control it with that?
No, I'd actually never heard of that. But I jumped on the
Exactly.
DS train really late.
First of all, like it's funny because like if you have an original DS that has the original stock strap, it has a little nub for your thumb. Also, if you have Mario 64 DS, that was the preferred control method was to use your thumb. And YouTubers are just barely discovering this now. Well, I guess I should say last year. And it was this big thing. Like, did you know? Because like someone big, like fucking Game Grumps or someone's like discovered, like, oh, did you know you're meant to play with your thumb? And I was like, really? And I'm like, they showed it at E3. That was the preferred way to play. I just like things like that annoy me. But yes,
Manuel,
not
what
everyone
doesn't
knows.
annoy you, honestly?
Honestly, I'm just a boomer. Okay, okay. You want to hear my latest rant? We'll get to Zelda after this, but I feel like we could all talk about this rant that got into my head yesterday. So,
Again.
so anime conventions in California are trying to do ribbons.
They're trying to do
And
what?
Sorry?
do ribbons.
Yeah, you're going to have to
Oh,
explain that.
ribbons.
So, there's a convention in LA that's been around for a long time. It's one of the bigger ones called Anime Los Angeles.
Which wasn't the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to get to that. It's funny you bring this up. So I'm going to get to that. So
Okay.
that convention got popular. I mean, not got popular. There's a popular thing to do at that convention where you give out ribbons. Say you registered, it's your first time there. You would tell the person at registration, "Oh, this is my first year." They'd be like, "Really?" And they give you a first timer ribbon. And then you're like, "Yay!" And then you go outside and you see somebody in cosplay. It's like, "Oh my god, I love your cosplay. So and so's my favorite character." Really? And they give you a ribbon. And basically, now you're hooked. And now you're going to these fucking ribbon groups, and there's all these groups that exist just to trade ribbons or to give them out like to various games. Like, oh, Weston did this. Weston, you used to do trivia for like for your Mario ribbons.
Yeah, that year I literally got like bombarded because my very first ribbon was the DDR one because a friend of mine was like
Hold on.
in charge of the DDR machine.
I'm gonna go grab my badge.
But yeah, ALA is one of the big conventions, family friendly conventions
See, like, oh my
that
god,
runs that does the ribbon thing. But the thing is, they weren't the first ones.
oh,
The Order of Gelfrey are the first ones to be
thank
doing the
you.
ribbons.
So it's funny you say that because like I was talking to a friend of mine who's trying to bring them to the by the way, these are ribbons. I only have like 3 on this badge, but those are them at the bottom. But it was a sci-fi con thing. That's where it really started. And it was all over the sci-fi con thing, and the only reason that ALA has them is because the staff that run ALA, especially the ones that founded it, came from Gallifrey, came from Lost Con, came from all these giant sci-fi conventions.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Lost Con. Lost Con was also one of them too. But now
And I just
go ahead.
And
oh no, and I just find that funny because like everyone's forgotten the origins, and now they act like it's only an anime thing, but like they're trying to bring it to Fanime and they're trying to bring it to Offkai Expo.
Oh yeah, I saw about the Fanime one.
I mean,
And I don't. Huh? Go ahead.
No, I've seen it at gaming conferences, like at GDC when I've
Yeah,
been.
exactly.
They have it, but it'll be like speaker, or some people will get it with their pronouns on it, so that you don't have to like ask every time.
To not get too deep in the weeds here, the reason why I came out of like Sci-Fi Con specifically is because I think their true origin is like business to corporate events, like JD's kind of describing. Like typically, that's where they really came from, and obviously a lot of these more older businessy types are the ones probably that really got like cons going, or maybe it was like some of the first cons grew out of like business type culture or whatever the fuck. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to describe, but you know what I mean.
No, you're right, because a lot of the older people from ALA and Galfrey said they done it for their own business.
Yeah. So
the origin is still there with their regular business besides anime and sci-fi convention.
And
like I'll admit this is very boomer of me, but like all these like kids trying to do it at Fanime, and you already tell where I'm going because I'm calling the kids. All these kids trying to do it at Fanime and Offkai Expo. I'm like, you don't even know the origin. This is not an ALA thing. It's like
gatekeeping manual.
Huh?
Gatekeeping manual. You have to know the entire history to be able to enjoy something that's just for fun.
Honestly, the only reason I really took off at ALA is because it's done at the staff level. If staff weren't doing it, wouldn't. I don't think it would take off. It wouldn't have gone this far. The
I
fact
think it
that
would have. I think it would have gradually, but not like
yeah,
over.
exactly. It would have taken years. And the thing is, all these kids at Fanime and fucking Offkai are trying to do it in 1 year. I'm like, you're not gonna like yet. And this is the first time they've tried. That's the part that annoys me. Uh, every year somebody's all like, "Oh, we're gonna do ribbons," and like they'll try, and only their little close friend group will do any, and they'll wonder why I didn't catch on and never talk about it again. And I'm like,
Mm.
you need to stick with it if you're gonna do it. Like, it's not an anime con thing, you fucking weebs.
No, yeah, because I tried to do it at an anime convention. It didn't catch on. It needs to catch on with what do you call it with the fan. But I honestly think the ribbon will gradually build up. Just that it won't do it that one time. Like the following year or maybe the year after that, it'll be like, oh, Akai will do it on the third year or the fourth year, and
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. It needs time to grow. I blame ALA getting bigger, so people show up from out of town. They're like, "Oh, ribbons are cool. Let me take that to my tiny BFE con in Nebraska." And
Once again, our
I'm just
apologies
getting
to
more and more offensive, aren't I?
the biggest con in
no,
Nebraska.
no, because the people who done ALA, there's people that came from Salt Lake. There's people that come from
Oh, so apparently Wes is
what's her name?
correcting me that I'm.
What did I'm not I don't want to doctor, but the ginger girl with the M letter.
Oh yeah.
A
Oh
couple people came from her state, and they're
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we done it to our convention," and it kind of catched on a little bit, but not like big enough for them to be like, "Oh, everyone's doing it." But yeah,
Well,
like the East Coast and the Mid Coast people have done it, and for sure, had friends at ALA that are like, "Oh yeah, I'm from out of state, and we do this all the time," and it's like I'm one of the ones that started it, like crazy.
freaking weaves. Anyways, that's me gatekeeping. That's my current gatekeeping manual story. If you want to do ribbons to your anime convention, you better damn well know where they came from, or manual will be mad at you.
Okay, how many years have you gone to LA?
I've gone to ALA ever since they moved it to AX. I mean AX, LAX, and
The
I went
Marriott?
1 year before because I think
Okay,
that was like the fifth or sixth year. When they moved to the Marriott in 2009, I think was the first year they were there.
that was my first year.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when it happened because the PMX before that, they were advertising at PMX and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna be at the hotel across the street." That was back when PMX was at the LAX Hilton.
Yeah,
Um, and they're like, "We're gonna be
next
at
door.
the yeah, well, next door. Like, it's not even across the street. Yeah, it's like literally right there." And I'm like, "Oh, really? I'm gonna go to it." And I didn't stay at the hotel that first year. I just even though I used to stay at hotels, I just kind of came and went, like every day. But yeah, like I saw ribbons that, and it's funny because like the ribbon culture, I think has only really grown since Ontario. Like they did ribbons at Marriott, but like it was smaller.
Yeah, because
Like
there wasn't that many people. It was like what
exactly,
4,000
it was
compared to like what?
2,000. It was two
No,
thousand.
it was 4,000 by the time I
No,
got there.
that hotel has a capacity of two. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there was way more than 2,000 because that was an easy
There
closet.
was no because they said that they
Uh,
could only reach about 4,000 because if they would have got called by the fire marshal, they would have closed. So
Because
roughly their capacity was like 4,000.
and
Uh,
then when it moved to Ontario, their capacity was like 12,000. I think once you like triple it, it's like or whatever you're like, yeah, let's all do ribbons.
Pretty much.
And it was easier to get people hooked. A to J had ribbons for 1 or 2 years. I forget how many years we had ribbons.
And
Um,
I've been telling you every year that you need to get ribbons.
the only issue, surprisingly
hey,
expensive for what they are. Huh?
remember when we were talking about Nintendo and Zelda stuff?
No, ribbons. This is Ribbon Con. Uh, they're surprisingly expensive for what they are. Uh, I think. I At the end of the day, I think each one ends up depending how many you buy, but each one costs like 50 cents each. So if you buy like 500 of them or whatever, it adds up quick.
No, but
And
the
you,
price goes down the more you buy, thoh.
exactly. I think if
Economies
you
of
buy
scale.
500, it's like 30 cents each. Anyway, we'll do a Kickstarter for A to G ribbons.
Yeah, we just need $100 and we're good.
Yeah, actually, I'm like honestly, if we had $100, I could buy like 2 designs and like 3 designs, maybe get a couple hundred to 3 designs, maybe not three, two. anyway, anyways, Zorlda.
Lonk. It's all about Lonk.
Even Wes said it. So
Anyway, I'm stupid. Manuel's brain doesn't work right. That might have been the same episode of White Day where I got I got so many info wrong that week.
yeah, I had to put up like 3 separate notes explaining White Day, what it actually was.
Why did no one correct me when I was describing White Day? I can't get over that. I described it completely wrong.
How did you describe it?
I forgot. First of all, it has nothing to do with white chocolate, which is what I said.
I mean, white
literally
chocolate is a
described the
traditional gift.
opposite. I literally described the opposite of what it was, like where the boys give the girls stuff, a return gift. But I said the opposite, where
The girls have to return the
yeah.
favor.
Anyway, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Zelda.
Zelda.
We got 10 minutes of Tears of the Kingdom gameplay.
Did you watch that trailer, Weston? I'm not sure if you did. It was kind of boring.
I saw the first one. I haven't seen the newer one.
Yeah, they did a gameplay trailer. It was 10 minutes long. By the way, I don't mean boring for what they showed, but like, it is gameplay. So I guess you can't expect like trailer like editing. But I was just surprised how like it was 10 minutes of literally just him playing. By him, I mean AG
Aonuma.
Yeah, Aonuma, playing Tears of the Kingdom. The what's funny is everyone's like losing it because there's this weapon fusion system. Well, it's not just weapon, but there's this fusion system. Like 2 items, you make something out of them, or more than 2 items and make something out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played Dead Rising? It feels like Dead Rising.
I have.
Like when you get like, let me get this like the stick, and then put a chainsaw on it, and now I got a chainsaw stick. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But apparently, it took Nintendo 6 years to think up that idea again.
Manual.
We
can save all the wait time. We can save all the education, or all the counting all the times you don't know how game dev works for another show.
It's because like all the comments in the video are like, "Oh man, I can't like that's what took so long. I can't believe it did this." And I'm like, I get there might be like a lot to do, like that could break when you have a system like that. You have to
Especially
fix it.
when you have to deal with all the possible combinations.
It honestly, prove me wrong, Nintendo, but I don't think it's as robust as they're gonna play it. They're gonna remember when Animal Crossing was coming out and they showed the crafting system,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone thought it was gonna be far more like in depth than what we got. I'm sure it'll be way more than that, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be that. In like you're gonna have like 30 craftable items. You can get a stick and a rock and a log, and like it'll probably be like 30 items I think you could put together. It's not going to be like this whole like, oh, I'm going to grab some dirt and then I'm going to grab a little pebble and a bigger pebble. I'm sure it's not going to be like that. If it is, then I will eat my Zelda hat.
We're still keeping track. I still need you to eat your hat and eat sand. So
it's just funny. I'm like, it's not going to be like that.
So,
I'm calling it now.
yeah.
There's no way it's going to be that in depth. It's going to be like 30 items.
I'm adding a new command just to things Manuel still has to eat for all the bets he's lost.
It's gonna be 30 items. That's my actual number. It's not gonna be this like, oh, the whole world can be like. It's not. It's not. First of all, the Switch can't handle that. Yeah, I'm not. I still can't believe this game took 6 years to make. I look. What were they doing? It did because like. Okay, honestly, I think it took longer because you got to remember that they've been working on Breath of the Wild since like 2010 or some shit like that. It's been that was in development for like 6 years, 7 years before it came out. And I'm sure at some point when they were wrapping up, they're all like, "Hey, we kind of have this idea for this." I'm sure that idea started long before launch, and it's barely coming out now. I'm like, what the fuck? That game was announced early on in the Wii U's life. Not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, how did they have a fucking asset switch sequel that took more than half a decade?
Because it takes time to program things, Manuel, and then make new things, and then test things, and prototype and iterate. It's a very long and detailed process. It's almost like only one of us has any experience actually doing this professionally.
I don't know, man. I'm just calling it like I see it. Like Nintendo, like it's like a Majora's Mask situation, but it's not.
Bullshit is Majora's Mask situation.
Well,
Majora's
Majora's
Mask
Mask.
was like literally made like the following year, and then they
Yeah, that's what I'm
finished
saying.
it.
That's what I'm saying. But like it's the same in that they took the same assets and they made a new game out of it. But that's how you do it. You fucking do a turnaround. I don't like Majora's Mask. I think it's a terrible game.
You don't
But
know what you're talking about.
I will. Okay, I will appreciate that they were able to make a game fast, which is something apparently people can't do anymore.
But take in mind, weren't they making? Was it the Ocarina of Time? Was it Earth or something like that?
Oh,
And they
the one that was coming out for the DD,
yeah, they
which did
didn't
come
they?
out in Japan, but yeah, I
No,
think
not here though.
yeah. I mean, well, we got the version on the GameCube, the Master Quest or whatever.
Yep.
I still haven't
But
played that.
it's honestly just nowadays it's funny because like was original back then, but nowadays you could fucking get an Ocarina of Time randomizer. Basically the same thing, except tested better.
Obviously,
But yeah, are you look? I mean, okay. I also want to say, I want to reiterate because I was talking to JD about this before we started. I think Tears of the Kingdom looks good. I can't wait to play it. I have it pre-ordered. I'm sure I'm going to put hundreds of hours into it, but I still call bullshit that it took 6 years. JD can like
Deep
hate me on
breaths,
that if he
JD.
wants.
Deep breath. Don't kill Manuel just for this. Don't kill Manuel just for
It took
this.
6 years for this. Come on, it should have came out in like 2020. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not like there was anything big happening in 2020 that delayed
Okay,
lots
was
of
a bad.
games for years. And
I even said pandemic.
That was actually a bad year for me to have picked to have said that.
yes,
I will admit. Oops.
God damn it,
But I
Boomer.
don't know. Do you think the game looks like? Do you think that fucking mechanic looks like it was worth 6 years waiting?
yes.
I don't care.
Honestly, do you not agree with like that? That's fucking Dead Rising. I'm sorry. That's like literally what Dead Rising did. Literally. That's the part that I'm like, has everyone forgotten that game?
No, they haven't. But just because one game does it doesn't mean it's super easy to integrate into another game, especially when you have to build on top of everything from the last game.
And from what I remember, first of all, like I probably shouldn't have said 30. That was a low number because Dead Rising had way more than 30 options to mix together. But like it was the same idea. Like it was very, very weirdly like you can get a piece of wood and you could put, like I said, like I wasn't just making it up. I think there was a lawnmower that you could put the wood on to make it just longer, like or a broom or some shit. And it was just like you would have this incredibly stupidly long lawnmower thing. Or not long, like a weed whacker, whatever the fuck you call that. The circle one.
Yeah, it was a weed whacker.
The circle one.
I think
there was a lawnmower.
You can also get a lawnmower in that one and just go over zombies.
There was a boss that had a lawnmower. I remember. Do you remember that boss? That boss fucking pissed me off. I think he was a human that went crazy. He had a lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm making that up. It's been 10 years since I played that game. But still. Great to go play Dead Rising. Whatever happened to that series?
Well, the fourth game came out and then nothing happened.
Yeah, I will say, like, I feel like I've never even played a third one. Is there a third one? I feel like
there's a fourth one, man. So there kind of has to be.
There's a fourth one?
Yes.
Yeah, fourth
one. And they brought back Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, this game... Where have I been in gaming for the past 10 years?
Idle hell.
Exactly. It's funny because, like, I was reminiscing on the whole idol situation recently because I was thinking about, like, how a certain idol group, like, almost got the YouTube channel deleted, the A to J YouTube channel. And I was like, there was a long period of time where I was really into idols in this way that, like, I don't even know if I could do again.
Not with that attitude.
It takes so much to get into, like, a fandom like that. But it was a weird fandom because, like, a lot of them hated us. Like, JD was not watching UPZ back in those early days. But the first, like, 50 or so episodes of UPZ, we were an idol podcast. And we actually had a decent amount of viewers from the alt idol scene, and every week we'd piss them off, and like we would get comments. because we would have hot takes like because a lot of the Oz Idol groups back in the day were doing like that metal thing where they were like, and they're still doing it now, but like this is the start of it where like an alt idol group would be like, we're not actually idols, we're a metal group, and like they were just great value baby metal, and we would call it out like, oh god, this is like, why are they doing this? This is not original. And then fans would be like, oh, like this is the best group that's come out in years. What's wrong with you guys? And everyone had this hard on for this group called Necronom Idol, who were like this Cthulhu-ish themed idol group that changes members like every week. Like they've had like A to J and Necronom Idol formed around the same time. And Necronom Idol, first of all, they've never had more than like 4 or 5 members in the group at any one time, but they have like 40 members. They've had, I should say. Because they keep changing their lineup, and every so often it'll be like, oh, we're just getting rid of everyone and starting new. And it always weirds me out when there's these new girls in an idol group and people will become instant fans. And I'm like, what are you a fan of? They haven't done anything yet. Like they're literally just girls in a picture at this point. I don't know.
Hey, I know.
I guess I just don't understand idol fandom. What?
Yeah, you grew out of it.
Oh no, I was going to compare it to my sister being a fan of a group that never put out, like a boy band that never put out an album, but they put out singles at least.
Oh, is it BTS?
No, it's NLT.
NLT?
Yeah.
Are they also? Are they American?
Yes.
I'm thinking about the Meaty Cheesy Boys.
I'd say the only person you might know from them are either Justin Joseph, JJ Thorne, because he's like a director's son, and then Kevin McHale, because he's an actor. And
I actually remember. Yeah, I vaguely remember this group. Wait, Menudo's still around?
Yeah, yes. Is it Menudo just one of those groups that keeps changing members?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently. I swear to God, I'm learning about this second. Apparently, Menudo, not only were they around until well into the 2000s, but I guess there was a brief period where they were gone, but they're back again.
Boys are back in town.
The only reason by the way, when I went to the NLT Wikipedia page, there was a link office. I guess like they shared management with Menudo or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? And I clicked on it, and it says it's still active today. What the hell? It's funny because for a while there, speaking of idols, I'm a huge fan of this group called Morning. Well, I was a huge fan of Morning Musume. And they were like the first group that really popularized, like, oh, we're gonna keep like shuffling members in and out. Not to the fucking degree as these alt title groups though, but that was their shtick. And people were comparing them to Menudo, a group I had never heard of before. It beyond a footnote in Ricky Martin's career.
I was about to say, how had you not heard of it even through Ricky Martin?
But literally only as a footnote. Like, oh, every so often when VH1 would mention him, they would show a clip with no audio of him, like in a VHS quality video, like dancing in the street. But like, I was like, who the fuck are Menudo? To this day, I still don't like. I guess some people. I guess they have some hits. I say this is somebody who like doesn't know anything about like heritage, and I'm pretty sure like somebody in Mexico would probably know who the fuck they are.
Yeah,
sorry, I got distracted.
A Latin friend will most likely know it.
Yeah. Anyway, so send me your favorite Menudo songs. I actually don't like. It's funny because like I have this friend of mine. Whenever I get drunk, he's like, "Oh, good drunk food when you recover is menudo, like the soup."
Yeah,
and I'm sure somebody's upset by the way I'm pronouncing menudo. By the way, but I fucking hate it. And it's funny because growing up, I'm sure this is something all people who grew up in Hispanic households can appreciate. Growing up, you never got menudo like every night. It was a very special meal, I guess. Like I'm not sure how difficult it is to make, but I can only assume it is.
It isn't.
Because like even if you go to a restaurant, most restaurants only serve it on the weekends.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why it's not a thing you could just have on a Tuesday night. But it's a deal for some reason. So my point is, every so often it's like, oh, we're having menudo tonight, like it's special, and I'm always like, oh, the fuck, I fucking hate menudo. But
That sounds racist.
yeah, I can say this. I am Hispanic. I'm a
No,
self-hating.
no, not anymore,
Mexican.
man. We had to revoke your card. You just can't say
That's what I'm saying.
panaderia.
I feel like I also hate avocados, and I hate I hate spicy chips. So I feel like I'm revoking my Spanish card.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, sorry, no, it's
my Spanish. I
tortilleria.
meant Hispanic. Huh?
Sorry, it's because you couldn't say tortilleria.
I still can't say that word.
Yeah, that's why we
We're
revoked your card.
Tortilleria.
You're working
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
You'll get there.
Tortilleria. It's funny because that's the way I called it one time. The very first time I ever saw that word, a long time ago. I'm sure I told this already, but that's what I called it. And even my own parents made fun of me.
No mama's way.
They were talking all this shit. Like, what the? I just find that funny. Yeah, tortilleria. That's me actually trying, by
Diarrhea.
the way.
All your R's, damn it.
My tongue doesn't roll.
I don't think there's a rolled R in there, is it?
It's not, but it's just,
Yeah.
it's just like the just an R sound that I just can't do anyway. Whatever that R sound is. Anyway, menudo, tortillas. This sounds like we're just being really racist.
Nope, I'm not.
We're not.
Frijoles for Joel's.
Manu, you're lucky I can't punch you through a screen.
For-
As soon as they develop that
Don't-
technology,
don't-
I'm using it.
No joke. I actually, well, mind you, that's more of a joke. I legitimately call beans for Joel's most of the time. I'm like, I want some for Joel's.
Joel's.
It's like the way, it's like, yeah, it's like the way you say. But that's kind of my way of saying like nuggies, but for beans. It's just I'm joking around. But yeah, I can see how. Again, I'm not really a good Mexican, am I?
No.
You make
It's
me
'cause you're
look like a
born here,
Mexican
that's why.
saint compared to you, Manuel.
Anyway, Zelda. What's everyone's favorite Zelda game? Like, I feel like that's an easy topic that could piss everyone off.
I already said it.
Which one is your favorite? I don't think I heard. Was it Majora's Mask?
Yes.
Ew.
I'm not saying it's the best one overall, but I'm saying it's my favorite.
I mean, that's a good call. I could take that call.
That's why when I say a game, you're like, oh my god, it's like it's overrated. I'm like, dude, I just like the game. I'm not saying it's a top fucking game. It's like I just like Majora's Mask because it's a psychological type of game.
It's almost Link's Awakening for like all jokes aside, because I know everyone's gonna like you guys gonna dogpile on me for just bringing up Link's Awakening every chance I can get. But
You're
Link's
just saying that
Awakening-
because it got released recently with the Game Boy thing.
Oh, dude, I fucking played that game. I beat it. I didn't give up. I just didn't feel like doing it a third time. I beat it twice. I have 2 save files that are just full, like perfect save files, just for fun. Like that's one of my comfort games. Like when I'm bored, just want to play something. I need to do a third one, but I've been busy with other games. But yeah, but like apparently that was like quasi Twin Peaks and Twin Peaks. I forget what I think it's Twin Peaks. It was quasi Twin Peaks inspired, where it was like, oh, it's all a dream. Well, okay, they say Twin Peaks. That sounds more like what's that movie? With the dude in the Vietnam and he's dead.
Jacob's Ladder?
Oh, not Jacob's Ladder, yeah.
Yeah, Jacob's Ladder. It's like Jacob's Ladder, but without the horror. I think that's more what that game is like. Because
I deem Link's Awakening as a fan made because of how like other characters from other games are in it, and like majority of them are not like in charge of it. And
also,
what's his name?
Yeah, I think the team on that game is very different.
It is different. It's way different than the normal team that makes the games.
Because it was like one of the Game Boy teams, and like even the music, like some of the music was done by that dude, the Totaka. I don't know what his full name is, but the Totaka guy, the guy who does like the guy that kick sliders, like based on
Kazumi Totaka.
Huh?
His name is Kazumi Totaka.
There you go. But yeah, like some of the music was done by him, and I know that like and I think that's the only main like Zelda's. I mean, sorry, it's only Nintendo Zelda game. I think Eiji Aonuma like didn't direct like from like the modern times and shit like that. I think Ocarina of Time was when he started. But it's funny because Link's Awakening brought the owl. That's like in all the games. Well, not all the games, but it definitely was an Ocarina of Time. That fucking owl.
Not the same owl.
I know, but it's the idea that there's an owl. And I think Ocarina of Time was the first. I mean, Ocarina of Time. Link's Awakening was the first game in the US, I should say. Actually, no, not even the US. I think it was a flute in Japan. It's the first game that had the ocarina, and it definitely whether Japan had an ocarina and not the flute, I don't know, but it definitely. Oh no, because Link to the Past had the ocarina.
Yeah, Link to the
Okay,
Past.
but it definitely was the first one you were able to play songs on it, like more than one, not just like the fucking bird song from Link to the Past. Like you would play like the fucking Mambo one and the Zelda's Lullaby, not Zelda's Lullaby. I can't they call it that. The fucking the Windfish song, the one that fucking girl sings.
Oh, Windfish.
Yeah, dude, that game's great. I'm not gonna lie, that's my favorite one, but I will admit that's not the best Zelda game. It is my favorite one.
Yeah, because we all know the best Zelda game is Ocarina of Time.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Fight me.
Honestly,
No.
if I really had to say it, I would say it's Link to the Past, even though that's not my favorite.
No, yeah, everyone says Link to the Past is like the all-time best.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said before, Ocarina of Time is a great game. I don't think it's
Haven't got to fight for your favorite as the best manual.
If I had to pick a 3D Zelda game, first of all, I had to pick a 3D Zelda game, it would be Breath of the Wild. But I also feel that Breath of the Wild is a bad Zelda game.
So a bad Zelda game is the best Zelda game. I love your line of thinking.
Yeah, let me finish. I fucking love Breath of the Wild. I fucking love it. I wasted a month on that game. Remember that Weston, when I like disappeared for like a month just fucking playing Breath of the Wild.
You done that back to back. You disappeared on that one. Another game. You disappeared like 3 months on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I had to. It got so bad with Breath of the Wild. I had to give the game to my roommate. I'm like, hide this from me and don't tell me where it is, so I couldn't play it because it was getting that bad. But it's not a good Zelda game. I think it's just a really good game. Like, it doesn't feel like a Zelda game. Don't you agree, JD? I feel like that's not a hot take. It doesn't feel like a Zelda game.
No, it feels like a Zelda game. I don't get what you mean by that.
It doesn't have like any puzzles really.
Did you and I play the same game, Manuel?
I mean, the fucking, there's some in the fucking, what are those things called?
Shrines?
Yeah, there's some, but they're kind of simple, simplistic, pared down. There were like no dungeons in that game. Well, there was 4, I guess, technically, but they were really tiny, if you even call those them. By the way, this is random, but you know that bird dungeon, the one where you fight the wind Ganon or whatever the fuck?
Yes.
You're like on this. That fucking game triggers me so. I mean that well the game does, but that fucking stage triggers me so bad because like I'm kind of over it now, but it still comes and goes. I used to be really, really afraid of heights, and it's really triggered on that fucking stage. I do love that when you fall in that dungeon, they just put you back, like as if it's like an old school game. You know, they just put you back on the fucking wherever like you fell from. What upsets me about Tears of the Kingdom that's coming up soon is that I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Like, when you're on the fucking floating islands and you fall, I'm pretty sure you just fall all the way to the ground.
You do.
Looks like
And
it.
that's gonna fucking give me a heart attack. Watch, I'm gonna fucking die playing the game. Literally, you're gonna find me like dead with fucking the game running.
Do I get A to J if you die while playing Tears of the Kingdom?
Huh?
Do I get A to J if you die playing Tears of the Kingdom?
you and Janet take over the empire. You probably do a better job of it than I did. So.
Not with that attitude.
But yeah, like I don't know. I don't think it was there's other good Zelda games. Like I don't think any of the Capcom games were like polished enough. Like both Minish Cap and the Oracle games. Don't get me wrong, they're great. First of all, they're both incomplete. The Oracle games were supposed to be 3.
It's change manual.
Like for each of the Triforces and for each of the fairies. And then Minish Cap just like stops, and there was even supposed to be a thing for the 3 fairies, but only for 2 of them. So like I don't know, Capcom didn't finish.
It's almost like
this game. Also,
it's almost like working under time and budget means some things will have to get cut in development.
Yeah, well, why did Nintendo give them 6 years to fucking make BS mechanics?
Because it's a big name. If it wasn't a big name, when it got fucking the time.
But What's funny about the Oracle games is that it it how do I say this? First of all, nobody talks about this as much, but they're also asset swap games. The same way Majora's Mask, the same way Breath of the Wild is. That's also the fucking Oracle games. They took the Link's Awakening like sprites and shit like that and just made a new game.
Yep.
I mean,
even some of
created
the
a whole bunch
bosses
of
are
new
the same.
characters and stuff. I mean,
You get
added
what I'm
in new
saying.
mechanics, 3 new companions that each change how you navigate certain parts of the game. Added in the ring system. Added in a whole lot of
I
other
hated
stuff.
the ring system. By the way, for those who don't remember the Capcom games, they all had gotcha elements. I
Yeah.
fucking hate gotcha elements in like games like that. And that's what the rings were. Like you would they even called gotcha. Actually, it's funny because they literally had a gotcha system. You would have a gotcha seed, you would plant it, and you would get a random item from it, and it would usually be a ring. You could even get rings that you already had, which is fucking annoying.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah.
that was the worst thing about that. You
Oh
get
yeah,
dupes.
that's why they're called gotcha seeds.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because I didn't realize that either. Like when I first played it, like I didn't know anything. Like I wasn't like as much of I wasn't a weeb at all. I was just like fucking very sheltered, not sheltered, but like I didn't know the world. A very young, stupid high school kid. And then like later on, I was like, oh, when I played it again like 10 years ago, I'm like, that's why they're called gotcha seeds. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha. Why did I laugh like that?
I
Also
have
added
no
in
fucking clue.
each.
What did you say?
I was just going to also go on with other stuff that they added on top of Link's Awakening, including like every or most parts of the world in all the different seasons or in different time periods for ages.
Don't get me wrong, the games are great. And I don't think they're out yet, but they're going to come to the Switch. I mean, the Switch Online system.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't play those again, but they're good. They're definitely worth the one playthrough. I will, even though I talk shit about Majora's Mask, I still think it's better than the DS games. But not by much. My real hot take is I actually kind of like the CDI games.
Ugh, you're telling me Majora's bad?
And I'll put them
Wow.
like I would piss people off if I had a tier ranking because like I would definitely put like don't get me wrong, I wouldn't put them anywhere near like I'd probably put them like a C, like in between a C and a D, the Wanda Gamelon or and whatever it was called. But like I would put Majora's Mask like clearly in a D. Clearly 100% in a D rank.
That's
Remind me
only
why I'm still
die.
doing this podcast manual.
So yes, I would literally put the Zelda CDI games, not Zelda's Adventure, because that game's not as good. But I would definitely put the first two CDI games above Majora's Mask, just barely, but above nonetheless. Like, first of all, I don't think they're as bad as people say they are.
They are.
I'm getting some more hot takes here, but at the very least, they're different. They're original, and it's like the gaming version of a Sharknado movie almost, where it's like so bad it's good. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
It
It's
is
like
you.
it's like
That's the
playing the
problem.
room. Oh hi Zelda. I'm so hungry I can eat an octorok. Remember YouTube poops? I'll never forget. I had this ex-girlfriend who introduced me to YouTube poops. And for those who don't know what YouTube poops are, it was literally just making shit videos on YouTube. It's poop, YouTube poop. But the most common things you would use to edit them together are like the Sonic cartoon, like the not the Sat Am one, but the other one.
Underground.
No, the one that was like the more kiddie one where like he fought that chicken and the one that like rolled with the little spiky arms. Uh
Yeah, the Sonic and Tails adventures.
yeah. So yeah, the one where they had the Sonic Says segment where it's all like, don't talk to adults, don't talk to adults you don't know, kids, that kind of shit at the end.
Yeah.
It would be that, and it would be the CDI games. Like it would always be like, Link my boy. Remember that shit? Oh, good times. I hated early YouTube. Anyway, what else was on the thing today? What else was talking about? Mario? Zelda? Zelda, Zorolda. Oh, what's your favorite Zelda game, JD?
Ocarina of Time. I've been over this.
Yeah, he already said it. He's saying
Oh,
And
Ocarina of Time is the
I
greatest game.
chastised you for not being ready to defend yours as like the best game when you said it was your favorite.
Link's. Wait, I defended Link's Awakening.
No, you did. You said it's not the best Zelda, but
Oh, well, no. Honestly, if I had to say the best Zelda, it would be Link to the Past, and I can fucking defend that.
Yeah,
you changed your you said it was Breath of the Wild, but you said Breath of the Wild was a bad Zelda game.
Yes, that was my caveat. That if I were to say what my favorite 3D one was, it'd be Breath of the Wild. But I take it back because I feel like you can't say that because it's not a good Zelda game. By the way, I didn't finish that thought. My favorite 3D Zelda game was probably Wind Waker, which is funny because I talk shit about it, but like sometimes. But I don't like the 3D Zelda games that much. But Wind Waker is probably the best one, I guess. Twilight Princess.
Should be your favorite since it's on the fucking Wii.
I know, but also the game. Well, the GameCube version is the one everyone wants. The Wii one, as everyone says, is the one where they had to flip it, so that you had to like swing with the right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zelda. I called him Zelda because Link's left-handed apparently.
That's the devil's hand.
I'm not gonna lie, I never noticed that until the fucking that game came out and they had to flip the game for his left hand. You could have fucking fooled me. I never knew Link was left-handed. I never noticed. But and Skyward Sword even bigger. I didn't like. I thought it was like fine. If you ever played Skyward Sword OG, one of the things that was the big takeaway, which I feel like a lot of people didn't really play it, was that most Wii games you could do this, and it would register. Just like waggle it a little. But that game fucking made you swing. I'm not sure why they did that. I'm not sure why they had you like trying to break the room apart. And I'm also one of those people who refuse to use the Wiimote condoms.
Oh, or wear the wrist straps.
Yeah,
I wore the wrist strap only because I didn't want to like be like one of those fucking memes where like they throw the controller and it breaks everything. But the condoms, I always felt the condoms. I felt like, first of all, like the front part of it was like this thick, and I'm not exaggerating. Look at it one time. The front part where like the sensors is like fucking thick as hell.
I mean, it's the part you
and
most like to whack someone with.
Yeah, the whole thing was was just too rubbery feeling. Also, I feel like most people don't know this. Only I would know this. I fucking have a million of them, and I still have them. I still have a bunch of them lying around. It was made out of that 2000s plastic. I'm not sure what kind of plastic it is, but you know the kind I'm talking about, the kind that melts.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hands?
No, like tons of electronics were made with this plastic. I don't know why they made so many things with it, but like
cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah, apparently, but like that matte plastic that melts. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, JD. Like a lot of electronics have this. If you have an old device of anything, it's probably falling apart. Very famously, like I think almost every handheld that was not like the PSP or the DS was made with that, like the Gizmodo and the fucking the other one I'm forgetting. Around that time, they were both made out. They were both coated in that plastic. A lot of cameras were coated in that plastic. I think the first run of GoPros were coated in that plastic. It's like, why the fuck did they keep using it? And they still use it. Like I think most most PS2 controllers, like the nubs, were that plastic. So if you have an old PS2 controller lying around, go see if your nub things are melting.
Probably are.
By the way, this is mildly off topic, but still on topic, I think. Every so often, I'll see videos of other like Let's Players or whatever, and they'll have the controllers. Doesn't matter the console. But most recently, I saw somebody who a Nintendo YouTuber show off their Switch, and they had rubbed off the covering of their analog sticks.
Why?
And I'm like, what kind of savages do that? Every so often, I'll get a used controller where they're gone. And I'll think it's so weird, but I'll tell a friend about it, and then like somebody like Nestor will be like, "Oh yeah, you haven't had them slip off when you're playing," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I had that happen to me on my Xbox One controller that I use for my PC games.
What the hell? What the hell do you guys do to them?
Played with it a lot, I guess.
I don't. I just don't get it. I'm like, what are you doing? Do you have like do you have like sweaty thumbs? Like,
Oily maybe, but not.
I, like that's the part that blows my mind. Like, it must be common because like I said, I've literally gotten used controllers where that's happened, and I'm like, what did you do? You eat it? Like
No,
honestly, if you ate it, I, I would care less because that makes more sense. And somehow they fell off. I'm like, what did you do? Like, anyway, that's another Zelda rant. Weston, when are you gonna start playing Dungeons and Dragons with us?
No,
It's not your cup of tea.
I have ADD.
That's
I
the
can't.
best.
so do I.
That's the best kind of D&D player.
No.
And that's not even a joke. That's not even me making a hot take. That's like a legit like the best kind of D&D player. And there are times because like I like to play my characters very straight. It's funny because Jodor was not, and that was kind of fun. But I like to play my characters very much like old school. Like yes, I am uh, a fantasy hero. But like the people who do the random shit are the best. The ones who are all like, yeah, I'm gonna punch the bartender and then like jump over the counter and steal his money and then leave the town.
No, okay, not that random manual.
Yeah, that's a little too random.
Isn't it the best?
No, believe me, I played with a group of those people. It sucks.
The murder hobos.
Like maybe it'll
The
work if you're
murder
doing like the Konosuba RPG, but then again, that's just because that fits with Konosuba.
Wait, does Konosuba just beat up people and kill them?
Have you not seen the
Pretty
anime?
much.
No, I've never seen it.
I have.
Is that the point of Konosuba?
It's a very isekai parody of like standard adventuring stuff. So
Oh, really?
the paladin's a
I'm not gonna-
masochist who just basically wants to go into battle and get hit. The wizard just wants to cast fireball on anything they can and she can only do it once a day. The priest is maybe the most useful one, but also very useless at the same time. And
Yeah.
finally, our main character is a rogue who basically only good maybe once out of 10. Also, it has friend of the channel Kaylee in it as Union, one of the best characters.
Wait, which one is that? Is that the blue haired?
No, she's one of the side characters.
Oh, okay. It's funny. 'Cause I'm looking at the characters now. I've definitely seen people cosplay this. I think Tiffany has cosplayed that witch character.
Megamine, the one with the eye patch and the hat.
Yeah, the one with the
A
hat.
bomb girl.
Yeah. Wait. So. Okay, it's funny because I've definitely seen this anime. I've never seen anyone cosplay that boy though. No one like. I'm sure people have. I'm just saying I've never seen anyone do it. I should watch this one. I'm not gonna lie. If I never associated Konosuba like the name with the actual anime, but if I had heard Konosuba, I would have just. I assumed it was like gonna be like a martial arts one.
No.
So yeah, D&D.
Oh, D&D. Yeah, the new D&D movie's coming out on Friday. Everyone go watch it and tell me how much it sucks because I'll watch it later.
Is
by
that
most
Jeremy
accounts, it's
Irons
actually
in it?
very good.
No, the Jeremy Irons one is the original one that's not that bad. That's the one with
like-
Marlon Wayans.
Yes.
And it also had a Gary Gygax cameo, I think.
It did, yeah.
The movie, honestly, I'm sure it's the same as this movie. It's just generic fantasy where they slapped a D&D license on, which is not
I
a
mean,
bad thing.
their enemy is a red wizard of Thay.
Well, is it set in Forgotten Realms? Because unless it's set in
Yes.
Forgotten Realms, oh, okay,
Yes.
okay, I take
Like,
it back then.
I think it's in Neverwinter.
Okay, I take it all back then. Because I was gonna say one of my things I think I felt that the first movie copped out. Well, to be fair, I don't think Forgotten Realms was technically the default back then because that was like third edition when it just came out.
Oh.
But one of my big things is like technically D&D does have a world. It just put it in there. Put it in fucking Greyhawk. Don't be cowards. Make the fucking Greyhawk movie that I'm sure everyone but like me remember where like everyone dies in one hit. where fucking a group of kobolds kills the entire party. Anyway, you should play D&D with this Weston, and just make like make a bard that's everyone's favorite. Just be really random.
I'll just be a bar that fucking sings about every sexual position.
So a
Oh
bard.
my god. Huh? A bard, yeah.
A bard,
oh my
according
god.
to the internet.
Just a
Yep.
standard bard. That's what I'll say. Like, you spoony bard. That's basically what a bard is. And I feel like the bard has always just been like a shittier thief that like, and
Like
I
to
might
sing
be,
his way.
yeah, it's just like another, not by the way, I said thief, but I meant rogue. But like, and I think in some versions of D&D, it was a spin-off of the rogue, as in like literally like you would just like not evolve, but like grow into it. Anyways, I forgot what the D&D hot takes were. What was the D&D stuff, JD?
Oh yeah, the news from today. Actually, today was their D&D Direct. Actually, they showed off some movie stuff. I don't think it was anything that hadn't really been seen before, but I do really like that scene in the trailers where they're basically using Speak with Dead, and it's just the comedy bit of where they keep asking questions and the dead person keeps answering them, but they're not questions actually addressed to the dead person. She's like, does that count?
Oh.
Yes. Okay, speak only when spoken to, okay? Yes. Why did you ask that
and
question?
They're like wasting.
I did. Yes.
They're wasting the questions.
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of funny.
Actually, it's directed by the same guys who did Game Night, and that was really funny. So
Is that a movie also about gaming?
Kind of. It's where like a boring old, or not old, but a couple that's kind of gotten to a rut has Game Night, and then it just goes completely off the rails.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Yeah, where like it gets taken over by like criminals come in. I think they originally think it's part of the game, then they realize it's not, and then it just keeps like spiraling out of control from there. One of the directors is the main guy from Freaks and Geeks. I can't remember his name.
Wow, I haven't thought of Freaks and Geeks in forever.
Yeah.
Is it the Rogan dude or?
No, it's not Seth Rogen. It's
John
Francis Daly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he actually got was it Sam Levine and the other guy back together for a promo for the movie. They just like put it out today.
Oh, the Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
Huh. I never actually saw Freaks and Geeks. All I really know about Freaks and Geeks is that I had an ex-girlfriend when I was like in high school. Well, then girlfriend, who like really loved the show. And I guess I technically watched it, but it was, I remember she bought it on DVD since it came out, and then like we watched a few episodes, I think, but I barely remember this. Wasn't there that one girl on it? What the hell's her name? She's like famous now too. Anyway,
which one? A lot of people from it. Either Linda Cardellini or Busy Phillips, I think might have been the two.
Busy Phillips is another one, but I think it's Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking about.
Velma.
There you go. That's what I'm thinking about. Yep.
Also, Hawkeye's wife in the MCU, and Lauren in Boy Meets World.
Oh, she was in Boy Meets World?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
She was only on like 2 episodes of the original series, but they're 2 very like important episodes.
Wait, who was she in Legally Blonde? I clicked on the page. Sorry.
She was the one that was accused of murdering her dad.
Oh, you're right. Oh my
Spoilers.
God, I'm stupid. Yeah, spoilers. And the one who had the hair that was like the perm.
That's the only way she figured it out because of the hair.
Because if she took a shower, it would have just all like washed out or whatever.
Yep. By the way, I went to go see the musical Legally. I've seen it a couple times, but one of the first times I went to go see it, I fucking love the musical. By the way, everyone should go watch it because it's one of the few musicals that has the recorded version. Like MTV recorded it for like MTV, I guess, like like 10 years ago when it first came out. But the opening song to the musical is called "Oh My God, You Guys," spelled O-M-I-G-O-D. Oh my God. and I posted a picture where like I was there about to see it, like, oh my god, you guys, and nobody got the joke, and I'm like, it's the song.
Yeah, but
And
we're
I
not
remember,
musical people like you.
and I remember Haley, the one who is like in that maid episode that somebody wants to watch of old UPC episode. Haley commented on it. She's like, oh my god, you guys, which is the lyric, and yeah. Anyways, everyone go watch Legally Blonde. Let's all go watch musicals. I need more musical friends.
You don't invite me, and I say I'm down for
Oh, let's fucking go. We could watch Peter. We could watch Tinkerbell throw up again.
it. Swear to God, what's with you and vomit porn?
Dude, I invite. It's funny because Molly dodged that bullet by not going. But did you know that story, JD?
Yes, you've told the story on a multiple podcast. Don't worry.
Oh, I have. Anyways,
Yes.
yeah, projectile vomit. Have I told the story that musical was directed by Renee O'Connor?
No.
Yeah,
You
it's directed.
have to me.
Mind you, I didn't know about that at the time. It wasn't until I finally read a program for a later musical that like was done at the same theater troupe that it was directed by Renee O'Connor. I'm like, wait, and
Ooh.
it mentioned that she directed Peter Pan, and I looked into it. Yeah, it was one we saw. For those who don't know, Renee O'Connor is Gabrielle from Xena.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, a ton of other things, but most people would just know her as Gabrielle from Xena.
Yeah. So we got a couple more minutes.
D&D.
Yeah, we had. They showed off the like first look at their own virtual tabletop. Looks interesting.
Don't they own Foundry or whatever?
No, they bought D&D Beyond, which was originally a separate like licensed website.
Oh, okay.
Say open playtest will begin hopefully at the end of the year. I'm looking forward to at least trying it out. They also talked about like some of their upcoming adventures and releases, and I'm really excited for some of that. They're finally explaining what the black obelisks that have been in some of the previous adventures have been in. That's just been something I've seen speculated about a lot. So I'm interested in that.
I didn't know there was that much lore in the modules or whatever.
Yeah, there is like parts of a meta plot going on, even from ones that aren't like directly connected. Like I know in one, an innkeeper mentions their missing spouse, and then in another adventure, you can actually find that spouse and like get them back together.
Oh,
yeah,
that's deep.
Yeah, and there are like other little bits, and they're finally like expanding on some of that. And then next year is apparently the return of Vecna in a major adventure. I know he gets a couple like small mentions. I think once in Cursed Strahd at least. There's some mention of the Whispered One.
Oh, I was about to say, like, I don't think Vecna was in Forgotten Realms though.
It's a world hopping adventure anyway, so.
Oh, okay. I guess that does make sense anyway, but yeah.
And then the return of, is it Venger from the cartoon in an official adventure?
The horn guy?
The wizard, yeah, dude.
He has like the, well, let me make sure I'm describing
like he's got a red cape and magic powers or something.
Yeah, but I think he has the horns that are uneven, right? Yeah, I was right. He has one horn that goes like this, but only one. I had to Google it to make sure I was. You remember that cartoon, Weston, the D&D cartoon?
No, I just remember the games. I don't remember the
I'm not gonna
cartoon.
lie, I did not grow up with it, but like when I was like obviously in high school again, it came out on DVD, and they started showing it like on TV again, like random cartoon channels or whatever. But so I saw it there. But the villain, he has like one horn. I think he has one wing too. Oh no, he has two wings in the picture, but he only has one horn. Like it looks so weird. You know what I'm talking about, right, JD?
But, yeah, I have a basic image of him. I've never seen the cartoon, but I've seen like images from it.
And the dungeon master is a little gnome thing that I keep telling Warren he needs to buy the costume because like they sell it everywhere. I'll buy it for him. That'll be my Christmas gift. Yeah, it's just a little gnome costume. It's red. I think he's called the Dungeon Master.
Yeah, he's just called the Dungeon Master.
Dude, we need to do an episode on tabletop role playing games with someone else one day. Not that Weston's not obviously doesn't know that much. But like I was watching Mazes and Monsters again the other day because it's on Tubi, and I forgot that like when I was a kid, like my aunt was still giving me that bullshit about like didn't want me playing it because it was like satanic.
It still is.
I'm pretty sure there's still a thing like that today, I guess, but like well into the 90s, like almost mid 90s by that point when I was about to play it, that like it was definitely still a thing that like adults said to kids. Like people act like it would kind of stop in the 80s, and no, it kept going.
Like, it's still going right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I said this before, but I know for a fact that chick track, the one for the D&D, I forgot what the fuck it's called, the
Darkest
Dark Dawn, something
Dark
like that.
Dungeons.
So, Dark Dungeons. There you go. That fucking chick track. I've seen that. Like I think I owned it. Not owned it. Like, but like I think I mentioned before. Like the church I went to, or I was forced to go to, would just have them laid out on a table. We could just grab them. And I'm like, comic books, and like and I'm 99% sure that actually I know I had it. I just don't know if I got it from that table, but I had it growing up. Anyway.
Like someone made I guess a YouTube movie version of that, and they basically gave it the Starship Troopers treatment. So like, it's completely making fun of the source material, and it's amazing.
No, it's even better
because it's played straight enough that you might believe it, but
exactly. And like it's funny because they licensed it from like whatever the fuck his name is, something Chick. Jack Chick. Yeah, they licensed it from either I don't know if I'm pretty sure he's still alive, but they licensed it from him or his agency or whatever the fuck. Totally got their full approval on it, and I guess even when they watched it, they didn't realize that they were kind of making fun of them. Like they thought it was real. They're like, yeah, this makes sense to us, which is fine, I guess, if everyone's happy and they got paid. So I actually bought that movie legally because I thought that was great. Like I think they only sell it on their site. Like you'd like pay for the download. I'm like, I'll buy this. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was ages ago I bought it though. Like we're talking like 5 years ago or some shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, if anyone has chick tracks, please send them to me. One of these days, I want to go to a Bible bookstore and just see if they just have them there.
Pretty sure you can just order them online.
Well, I'm sure you can. First of all, if you go to eBay, I think it's because of the fucking YouTubers they were popular to talk about last year. People sell them like for stupid amounts, like on eBay. And if you go to the Chick Tracks website, which still exists by the way, if you go to their website, they try to sell them to you in giant quantities, like you're a church. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you have to buy like 1,000 of them. And I'm sorry, but I do not want 1,000 copies of Dark Dungeon or whatever. I feel like I should get those and hand them out at a con.
Manual getting kicked out of a con speedrun any %.
No, they're not that. I'm wrong about the pricing, but I think it's like $40 for like it's a ton of them for like $40. And I'm like, what do I do with the rest though?
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering if that would get you kicked out of the con for like either soliciting or something.
That would just hand it out outside, then everyone will hate me. I'll be like
nothing changes.
They'll think I'm one of those. What are they called? The Westboro Baptist people. Anyways, I'm not. By the way, I'm joking. I joke. But please
I
send
want
me
that attitude.
Okay, last thing I'll say. But did I tell you when I got into the chick track thing and I went to PMX? It was like that weekend after I talked about it. I found 2 of them on the bus on the way to PMX. I was like, what? And not like on the same bus, not together.
Manual, this was clearly your future self trying to tell you another thing.
What?
Trying to just guide you on the right path.
Oh, sitting your back is like, you need to find Jesus.
After corrupting you earlier in life. Yes, it was just like, okay, now you need to find Jesus.
I think I showed them to you, right, Weston? Like, I was so shocked. I'm like, I've been looking for these, and I found them on the bus, on 2 separate buses, on the fucking way to PMX. I'm like, what the fuck? But so far, there's only been the 2 that I've gotten recently, and they're new. Like, they were stamped from a church in the back. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I guess either I go to church or I go to a Bible bookstore. Was it dated? No, but like I went to but like the actually they were dated the inside. It said what printing they were, and they were from like 2018 or something like that. So like they were from a very recent printing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, the chick tracks, please send them to me. I think they'd be fun to collect. I think my mom has a bunch of them somewhere. If she ever finds them, I'm gonna get them from her at some point. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Times. I should go back to past manual and be like, steal all these. Well, not steal because they're giving them out. Just grab stacks of them from the church and keep them for 40 years. Not that long. I'm not that old. But keep them for like 20 some odd years and sell them on eBay later.
Sure. All right, let's start wrapping up, Manual.
I'm going to hell. Anyways, this is episode 200. Next week, I think we're gonna do something else. I don't know what. And then in 2 weeks from now, hopefully, we're gonna do the real 200 anniversary, and either us and Tiffany, or hopefully us, Tiff and Angie, will rewatch episode 2 of UPZ, which was myself, Naru, Tiffany, and Angie. Actually, it wasn't even myself, Naru. It was myself, Tiffany, and Angie. There was no Naru in that episode. So we're gonna watch it, and I'm sure it's. I don't know. I think it was mainly about J-pop Summit, so it's not like it's gonna be the funniest, most topical-ish episode, like where we could pull a lot of things out. But it'll be a fun trip down memory lane. Those are stories I don't think we've ever really told anyway. So yeah, and there's probably stuff in there that I've forgotten. I do remember the. Actually, I'll save that because I'll wait till we're live. But there's a funny thing within the podcast that I remember that I still talk about to this day, that somebody watching commented on, and then we talk about live. Unfortunately, you can't see the chat anymore. The chat replay is not saved in the video. But anyway, what else is there? This Friday's Drink Talk Roll, and I think we're gonna try to do every Friday this month of April as an April Fool's joke. And I don't know if everyone will be on, but we're gonna try to do all 4 weeks of April. And I don't know if gaming will be on, but who knows? Like I said, who the fuck knows? If we do it, it'll be a Thursday randomly. No Suikoden though, because Snacks is like running fucking. He has a running group now. I'm not even joking about this. And I'm waiting for him. Yes, I'm waiting for him to like get over this. Like, hopefully he does. If not, then I guess I don't know when I'll be streaming with him. But he has like a running club. I guess is a better way to describe it.
Oh.
And they go for like 5-mile runs like on Tuesday. Sounds like the worst thing to do with your evenings, but more power to him, I guess. I'm not gonna, but yeah. Anyways, JD.
Yeah.
Oh, support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/JDJ Connections. We have if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't know if they'll all still be up there, but as of right now, we have 3 interviews that are Patreon exclusive, and they will be for a while because there's no rush to publish them. And yeah, it's cool. We're doing that again, and I think there's one more interview I need to gather together, another older one, and I think we're actually caught up with our interviews for a change. Isn't that wild?
You're welcome,
wild
Manuel.
what happens when me actually, when JD actually does the work for me. Anyway, but yeah, JD did do most of the legwork on these interviews. Actually, like all the legwork, pretty much.
May bother you enough until you finally got arranged those interviews.
Yeah, and the ALE ones aren't even as late as they could have been. Not as late as the Fanime ones that are barely going up now. Anyway, well, they're late for another reason. But anyways, thank you, Weston, for being here.
Anytime.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jay. Especially because for those, I didn't mention this, but Weston was literal last minute. Like, this is supposed to be an episode of Janet, and it's like, Weston. And the reason I even asked Weston too is he had been replying recently, and I'm like, oh, I know he's at least online. So yeah, he was a literal last minute. Thank you, and that's it. Peace out. Thank you for watching.
Thank you to our patron. Do we have one?
Patron. Thank you, Ed. Love you. See you at Fanime. Peace.